Hello, everyone. Let's get started with our practice. Today we'll begin in a child's pose, coming onto all fours as you bring your big toes together to touch, settling your hips back to your heels and folding into the earth. Taking a few moments here to get settled in for your time today in your practice. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, filling and expanding the back ribs and lungs. And a long, slow breath out in any way that serves you, that helps you to feel a little bit more settled in your space. A couple more times. Deep breath in through the nose, filling up and expanding your body. Exhaling to ground down a little bit further. One more time, inhaling fully and completely, and exhaling to release, settling in. Taking this time to honor why you've set aside your practice today and what maybe you'd like to cultivate with your time in session. Setting your own intention or sankalpa for this practice today. And when you feel ready, we'll begin gently walking our hands over to the right side of the mat, creating a side body stretch along the left side of your body. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then beginning to inhale and walk your hands back to the center, exhaling to walk them over to the left side of your mat. Feeling the stretch from the right fingertips all the way down through the right hip point. And a couple of breaths. And then gently walking your hands back through to the center. And we'll rise forward into a tabletop position on hands and knees, aligning your knees under your hips and your wrists under your shoulders. And as you inhale, let your belly stretch down for cow, reaching your chest forward, a little lift of your chin. And as you exhale, rounding your back for cat, pulling your navel in and up as your tailbone sinks down. Following your breath through these two shapes to wake up your spine. Seeing your inhales for your cow and your exhales for your cat. Really becoming more in tune with the pacing of your breath and how your body can match it. We'll take about 3 more rounds. And when you're ready, coming back to a neutral spinal position, we'll circle the hips in one direction, inhaling as they move forward and exhaling as they circle out and around. Waking up through the lower body, noticing how you feel here today. And beginning to change the direction of your circles. Still inhaling as you move the hips forward and exhaling as you circle them back and around. And then gently returning back to center. From here, let's walk our hands a few handprints out in front of us and start to melt the chest down towards the floor for puppy or melting heart pose. So as we walk the hands forward and melt the chest, we want to keep the hips stacked over top of the knees, feeling a stretch through the upper body and the shoulders. You can let your elbows and your forehead rest onto the floor in this pose. Or if you would like a deeper stretch, bringing your chin to the mat, perhaps even your chin and your chest, and breathing into the space of your lower belly. And we'll use our next inhale to come forward into a sphinx. So pushing forward onto your elbows, you can walk your legs long behind you as you lay on your belly propped up on the forearms, walking your elbows right underneath of your shoulders and drawing your neck long out of your shoulders here. We'll inhale. And as you exhale, letting your chin fall toward your chest as you then roll one ear to one shoulder and chin to chest, rolling the other ear to the other shoulder and chin to chest, taking this motion a few times at your own pace from side to side, just rolling out through your neck, letting it feel good. And as you're ready, rolling back to center, you can slowly release yourself down to the mat, chest to the floor, bringing your hands underneath of your shoulders with your elbows hugged in close to your side bodies. We'll use an inhale to hover the chest off of the floor. You might even like to challenge yourself by hovering your hands off of the floor too. Rolling your shoulders back and finding your baby cobra. Taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, releasing your chest back down to the floor. Slowly begin to tuck your toes under, and we'll press ourselves back to a child's pose with toes tucked, stretching out the bottoms of your feet and your toes, feeling a stretch in your lower back. And when you're ready, you can start to lift your knees and rise your hips high for downward facing dog. As you're here, beginning to pedal out your legs, bending one knee and bending the other knee as you start to feel into the hamstrings all the way down through the calves. Allow this to feel good. You can explore any other kinds of movement too, like swaying your hips side to side or coming up high on your toes for a stretch, or even shaking your head yes and no to release any unnecessary tension here. When you're ready, you can start to find some stillness in downward facing dog, with your knees gently bent, your hips elevated to the sky, and your head heavy as you press strongly into the earth with your two hands. We'll take a breath of release here before we move on, drawing a deep breath in through your nose, filling all the way up. Opening your mouth and releasing with a sigh. And we'll begin to walk our feet all the way forward to meet our hands, finding a standing forward bend at the front of your space. And as you arrive, you can inhale your hands to your shins or thighs to halfway lift and lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, folding a little bit deeper over your legs. You have the option to hold on to opposite elbows and let yourself hang heavy like a rag doll, swaying gently from side to side. From here, let's release our hands down, Bend the knees softly to plant your fingertips onto the floor right outside of your feet. If you would prefer to use some yoga blocks or the support of anything around you, just knowing that you're always welcome to do so. Another great option would be to drop your back knee down for this one. We're going to step our left foot all the way back, finding a runner's lunge. So your left leg is long behind you, left toes tucked under, and your right knee is bent at a 90-degree angle. So your right knee is directly over top of your right ankle here. And we'll inhale as our hips become a little forward and down, heavy pressure. And then as you exhale, we'll pull our hips back, making the front leg straighter or perhaps straight as you fold over top of it. So here's our movement. As we inhale, we bend our front knee, sinking the hips, reaching the chest forward. And as we exhale, we extend our front leg, pulling back, folding in a little deeper. Completing this a few more times at whatever pace feels good and warming for your body. Allowing the hips and the hamstrings to just awaken here with every movement that you take. And when you're ready, let's settle into the runner's lunge, keeping the front knee bent, the back leg firmed up, and imagine that your two thighs were like magnetized. They're pulling in towards each other. So your right hip shifts a little back, left hip a little forward, and your core feels engaged. Keeping your left palm on the ground, we'll peel the right hand up for the sky, coming into a lunge twist. Trying to stack your two shoulders and your two hands as you really feel the collarbones peeling open in the front of your chest. You have the option to look up here towards that top hand. And now we're going to get really rooted through those feet. We want to still feel that magnetizing energy between the two thighs. Pushing down, let's start to find this water wheel up, where the right hand starts to reach for the back of your space. And as you stand up, your left hand reaches for the front of it. Thumbs up, pinkies down, palms open, facing the right side that you're facing in this twisted lunge position. And from here, we'll exalt this by taking our back right hand onto our back leg lightly and bringing our front left hand a little forward and up to the sky, creating a nice stretch in the left side of our body. Taking an inhale here. And as you exhale, Warrior Two, we'll ground the back heel and reach the left arm behind us, right arm forward, feeling rooted through both feet. One time to reset, let's inhale, extend our front leg and reach the arms up, and then really settling into your Warrior Two as you exhale, sinking your hips, gazing over your right fingertips, softening your shoulders so you're soft but strong in your stance and your posture. As you inhale, let's exalt here, reaching the right hand up and a little back behind you, side body stretching. And as you exhale, we'll windmill the hands down to frame that front right foot and step back into our downward facing dog, letting ourselves reset here. You can pedal your legs out or even wag your tail, swaying your hips from side to side, taking whatever you need here. And then let's inhale to look towards the space between the hands. We can step or exhale and hop the feet forward to meet the hands. And upon arrival, we'll inhale to lift halfway and lengthen our spine out. And as you exhale, folding. This time, let's plant our fingertips outside of our feet so that we can step our right foot all the way back, coming into our runner's lunge position. And to work on that hip and hamstring flossing, we'll inhale, bend the front knee a little bit more, sinking the hips down and reaching the chest forward. And as you exhale, pulling back, folding over your left leg, and continuing on at a pace that feels like a nice warm up on this side for you. Inhaling to bend, exhaling to extend. Feeling how this side feels. Maybe it's a little different than the first side. Taking another round at your own pace. And when you're ready, we'll pause in the runner's lunge, bending through the front knee. Planting your right palm down, let's peel the left hand up for the sky. Lunge, twist. Staying grounded at first, really trying to hug the inner thighs towards each other and feel rooted through the right hand as you rise through the left, creating a sense of balance, rooting down to rise up. And we'll do just that. Now really anchoring down through those feet, our water wheel twist stands us up, bringing the left hand back behind you and the right arm forward. Thumbs up, pinkies down as you're twisted towards the left side of your space. You can reach your left hand, your back hand for your back thigh, and your front arm reaches forward and a little bit up, feeling a nice exulting stretch in the right side of your body. Taking an inhale. And as you exhale for warrior two, reaching your right arm back and your left arm forward as you ground and stabilize through the feet. One moment to reset as we inhale and straighten the front leg, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, really settling and sinking into your warrior two, gazing over your front left middle finger. We'll inhale to exalt this warrior. Left hand reaches the sky, side body stretching. And as you exhale, you can windmill your hands down to frame your front foot, and we'll step back into downward facing dog pose. Feeling free here to take what you need in this moment. Maybe you'd like to rest in down dog. Maybe you'd like to rest in child's pose. Or maybe you'd like to take a sip of water or a break in your own way. Resetting yourself, witnessing yourself here in this practice, and just noticing how you feel. We're going to move through this flow on each side one more time. Now just to invite in a sense of flow. So this time we'll move with one breath per movement. So joining me in downward facing dog as you're ready to begin. This time we'll begin the flows from down dog. So let's use our inhale to lift our right leg up for the sky. And as you exhale, you can step your right foot between your hands for runner's lunge. Inhale to reach your heart a little more forward in your lunge. And exhale to straighten your front leg and bow over top of it. As you inhale, bending the front knee again, low lunge. Exhale, planting left hand down. As you inhale, we'll peel the right hand for the sky. Pausing on the exhale to get a little deeper twist. Pushing down through the feet, we'll inhale, stand up, water wheel twist, right arm back, left arm forward. Exhale, back hand to back thigh. As you inhale, left arm reaches the sky, exalted twist. And as you exhale, we'll find warrior two, left arm back, right arm forward, grounding through those palms and those feet. Inhale, reverse, right hand sweeps the sky, exalted warrior. And as you exhale, hands windmill down to the floor as we step the right foot back to meet the left. This time taking a Danyasa between sides. So using an exhale to lower ourselves down to a hover or to the mat. An inhale to peel our heart up and through into a cobra or upward facing dog. And an exhale to tuck the toes or roll over them as you lift your hips and press your chest back for downward facing dog. Other side. Let's inhale the left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And as you exhale, we'll step the left foot between the two hands for runner's lunge. Inhaling to sink into the hips a little bit deeper. And as you exhale, straightening the front leg, folding over top of it. Inhaling to bend through the front knee again. And exhaling to plant the right palm down. As you inhale, your left arm reaches the sky. Staying for the exhale as you firm up through the core and rotate a little deeper. And standing water wheel twist as we inhale, we rise, left arm back, right arm forward. And as you exhale, planting your back left hand on your back left thigh and right thigh and inhaling to reach that right arm up and back, exalted twist. And as you exhale, warrior two opens you up, right arm back, left arm forward, rooting down through your feet, your palms facing down, opening the chest. As you inhale, reverse, left hand reaches the sky. And as you exhale, we'll windmill our hands down to the floor and step back, plank pose, taking that flow. Exhaling for your lower push-up. Inhaling into your back bend. And exhaling for your downward facing dog. This time, as you've made it, we'll walk our hands back to meet our feet, finding a yogi squat near the back of our space. So we can turn our heels in and our toes out as our feet step about the side edges of the mat or a little wider than your hips. You can sink your hips down, feeling free to keep your hands grounded or sitting on a block if needed, or bringing your hands to heart center and letting your hips be heavy into a hover over the earth. Taking a moment to go a little deeper into the hips in this posture and also getting a nice decompression at our lower spines. Next, we're going to work into a couple of balancing postures. So we can start to bring our hands to the floor and lift our hips up, toe heeling our feet back together underneath of our body. You can then soften your knees and start to roll your way up to standing, one vertebrae at a time, rising on up to your mountain pose. In this mountain, let's bring our hands together into a prayer in front of our heart, preparing to stand on our left foot first, shifting the weight to the left foot as we start to lift the right knee forward and up at a 90-degree bend, keeping our hips nice and level or steady with one another as we squeeze through the side waist muscles and draw our energy towards center, finding a gaze point to keep our focus. From here, let's find a twist. So we'll bring our left hand to our outer right knee or thigh, and our right hand reaches back behind us. Right thumb is up, pinky down, palm facing the side you're twisting to. As you inhale, standing up tall and firm, and as you exhale, twisting from the navel up through the crown. You could stay here, or to make this a little more challenging, you could reach your left hand for your outer right foot and extend your right leg any amount in front of you. So the right leg would straighten to the front of your space as you're twisting towards the right side. If balance is on your side today, you can look all the way back towards your right thumb. Taking another breath here. And seeing if you can unwind with control, where those hands come back to heart center, your right knee is bent at 90 and you're facing forward. Where we started, we'll inhale and use our exhale to release the 2 feet down to the floor. Taking a little moment here for yourself but before we change sides. Now we'll prepare to stand on our right foot. So with our hands at heart center, our weight starting to shift over to the right foot here, we can start to draw the left knee forward and up at a 90-degree bend, finding our balance on one leg. Noticing your balance here on this side, if it's the same or different than the first side. And finding a drishti to help you keep your focus. That gaze point is somewhere over the tip of your nose without crossing your eyes. Let's try our twist, bringing our right hand to our outer left knee and reaching our left arm back behind us. Thumb up, pinky down, palm open to help open up through the chest. Standing tall as you inhale and hug the inner thighs towards the center line, really squeezing through the outer glutes. And as you exhale, twisting a little deeper from your navel up through your chest and your crown. Staying here or adding in that extra element, reaching your right hand to your outer left foot and extending your left leg straight forward in front of you as you twist your chest over towards the left side. If balance is on your side in this pose today, you're welcome to turn your gaze all the way back toward your left thumb. Keeping that drishti, finding another moment here. And when you're ready, unwind with control, bringing our hands back to heart center, our left knee bent at 90 degrees, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, releasing back down into your mountain pose. Noticing how you feel. Let's bring our big toes together to touch, our heels an inch or two apart, and find one more standing pose today in our chair. So we'll bend our knees, sink our hips low, reach our fingers down for the earth, and then inhale chair as we rise our arms up for the sky, using the exhale to sink the hips down and back. In chair pose, you can either look forward and down, or a little bit forward and up for more challenge. Using your inhales to hug your inner thighs towards the center, and your exhales to sink your hips a little lower as your heart reaches a little higher in opposition. Taking 2 more breaths here, sinking in, and 1 more breath. We'll use our inhale to straighten our legs, reaching for the sky, and as you exhale, folding over your legs in a forward fold. We'll inhale to halfway lift and make a little space to now practice our crow. So we'll exhale, plant our hands shoulder width distance apart, pointer finger facing mostly straight ahead of you, hugging the shelf of your elbows a little bit in towards the center line and placing your knees on that shelf as best as you can. If the knees don't go to the back of the shelf, they can always squeeze the outer edges of your upper arms. So finding a placement where your knees can stay, gluing your knees to that placement on your arms. As you shift your weight forward and lift your hips a little higher, keeping your gaze point a little bit out in front of you. Maybe tipping forward enough to be able to lift one foot, continuing to squeeze your midline, or maybe even finding that crow balance where both feet lift off of the floor, big toes together, heels to glutes. You can step or hop back whenever you're ready and take your vinyasa flow through your lower push-up into your back bend to meet up in downward facing dog. We'll now go into some deeper hip stretching. As we inhale, let's lift our right leg for the sky. And we'll keep it there. As we exhale, we'll bend our right knee and let the hips open. So the right knee is high for the sky, stacking right hip over left. As you inhale, straightening your right leg again, and as you exhale, sending your right knee behind your right wrist for pigeon. Your right foot can be anywhere behind your left wrist as you start to settle into this shape. If you want a deeper stretch, you can fold onto your elbows, or even widen your elbows and fold all the way down with your forehead to your hands. Making sure your back leg is in a nice straight line, including your back toes. If there's any pain in your knee or your hip or your ankle in this posture, please do the right thing and come out. We never want to do our practice with any pain involved. Using each exhale to sink a little bit further into this pose, feeling a deep release in your hips. And you have the option, you can stay here for a little bit longer if the hip stretching is what you want to focus on today. Or if you'd like to get a little bit of quadriceps stretching in, you can press on up through your palms. Once upright, keeping your right hand near the center of the front of your mat, you can take your left hand and reach it back for your left foot. So bending your left knee and pulling the left heel in gently to create that quadriceps stretch. If needed, to take it a good amount further, you could work towards your mermaid stretch. So for mermaid stretch, you would take your left toes into your left elbow crease. Perhaps, if that happens for you today, you can reach your right hand up and over, bending at the right elbow as you bring your fingertips together to hook. When you're ready, we'll all begin to press back up through the hands. And we're going to send it back into that three-legged dog again. So tucking the left toes under. And when you're ready, the right leg goes up and back. Three-legged dog. Right knee bends in the air. We open up the hip. Maybe you shake it out a little bit here. Or you can flip your dog over, taking your right foot to the floor behind you as your right hand lifts off of the mat. Then we'll bring two hands to the floor, right leg high for the sky as you inhale, and downward facing dog as you exhale. Let's see what the other side feels like. Inhaling our left leg up and back. And as you exhale, you can bend your left knee and let your hips open up here. Left knee pointed high for the sky. Using your next inhale, we'll straighten the left leg. And as we exhale, pigeon pose lands the left knee behind the left wrist and the left foot a little behind the right wrist. Letting your back leg fall into a straight line behind you and just taking up a lot of space here. The more space you take up, the deeper your stretch will be. So listening to your body. Perhaps lowering down onto your elbows or even your forehead coming all the way down to your hands. Inviting here not just your hips to relax, but your shoulders to soften, your face to relax, your hands and your chest. Breathing in this deep hip stretch for a few more moments. Letting each exhale invite you to release just a little bit further. You can stay here, listening to your body. If you would like to remain more with the deep hip stretch, this is where you should stay. If you want to work into your quadriceps stretch, you can plant your hands onto the floor, left hand centered in front of you, right hand beginning to reach back for your right foot, bending that right knee and pulling the right heel in towards the glute. And your body will tell you if this is enough or if you'd like to take mermaid or merman stretch, bringing your right toes into your right elbow crease. And perhaps for an added balance challenge, reaching your left arm up and over your head, hooking your fingertips together. When you're ready, we'll plant our hands down and take it back into that three-legged dog, lifting your left leg up and back. You could bend the left knee, open the hip, shake it out if you'd like, or lifting the left hand to flip your dog, left foot finding the floor behind you, opening up the belly towards the sky as you take a breath. 2 hands to mat, left leg kicks high as you inhale, and downward facing dog as you exhale, releasing here. Now it's time to return down to the floor. So we'll lower our knees and begin to sit into the mat, sweeping the legs around in front and finding a butterfly seat. So you can bring your feet together and let your knees come out by the sides. Holding on to your ankles and using an inhale to sit up nice and tall, elongating the spine, and an exhale to fold, lengthening as you lower down, thinking nose toward toes. Opening up the hips, the groin, and the back here once more before we make our final descent for resting. And taking just one more big breath right here. And then slowly drawing yourself back on upright, knees coming back in towards the center as you walk your feet to the mat, knees bent. A little scoot of the hips forward to tuck your tailbone, and we'll roll down to the floor, one vertebrae at a time. As you make it, you could take a full body stretch, reaching arms back long behind you, legs out in front, inhaling here. And as you exhale, hugging your right knee into your chest, giving it a nice squeeze into the body. And similar to the balance pose we did today, we'll take a twist. So we'll use our left hand to cross our right knee over to the left side, reaching the right arm out towards the right, keeping the chest to the sky, and rolling your head gently to the right, looking away from where your knee is as you breathe. You might be able to find a little deeper sensation here as the earth is holding and supporting us, so it gives us a little bit more capacity to go further. And then using an inhale, we'll gently peel ourselves back to the center. And when you're ready, you can begin to find that full body stretch again, getting your spine nice and centered, your hips, and reaching your arms back behind you, taking a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, pulling your left knee into your chest, giving it a nice squeeze into your body. And for your twist, using your right hand to cross your left knee over your body, reaching your left arm out to a T beside you as you roll open through the chest and let your head gently roll to the left side. Breathing into the twist here, noticing the space at the lower belly. Relaxing your shoulders and your face. And taking one more breath. Using an inhale, you can come back to the center here. So you exhale, unwinding yourself and finding one final stretch of your choice. Maybe it's knees to chest, or feet up to the sky and reaching for outer feet, coming into happy baby as you bend your knees towards your armpits. Or maybe it's something else altogether, knowing that you've really cultivated a nice sacred space for yourself in this day today. So in this moment, you can take as much as you need or as little as you need to really feel settled from your practice. We'll close with a relaxation, coming into your final rest, whatever pose that might be for you, whether it's laying on your back with your palms up in corpse pose, or laying on your back with your knees bent, feet mat with distance, knees together to touch for constructive resting pose. Or maybe it's child's pose or a seated meditation. There's no wrong choice. It's just the choice that you make in this moment to help nurture and settle your body before returning back into the rest of your day. And when you get there, just acknowledging that you're there, inviting your muscles to release a little more away from the bone. We'll enjoy a couple minutes here together, and then I'll bring you back from Shavasana, and we'll invite ourselves to return back into the day with a little bit more peace. So please enjoy this moment, this time for you, in your sweet surrender. When you're ready, you can slowly begin to invite yourself back to deepen your breath, to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and gently roll your wrists and your ankles. taking a full body stretch or whatever feels good for you in this time to reawaken with gratitude and a new sense of life and purpose as we start to ease back in to our day. You can draw your knees in and gently roll to your right side, remembering the intention or the sankalpa that you set for yourself here. What did you hold space for yourself today? And how can you invite that in to the rest of your day ahead or the rest of your days? Slowly beginning to press your way up to a comfortable sitting position, coming into an easy cross-legged seat or a seat of your choice. And as you've made it, we'll inhale and sweep our arms out and up for the sky. Palms press overhead, and we'll exhale to seal the hands at heart center. Bowing our head towards our heart as we bow into that guiding light within. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.